So today we're going to take a look back at quiz 2-4, solving a little issue with hip roofs. Problem number 1 started out like this. We have a 28-foot span, and we have a 14-foot setback. What does that tell us? Okay, tells the span is 28 and the setback's 14, but what's the relationship there between the setback and the span? Well, yeah, the setback is half the span, which means the setback is the same as the run of the common rafter, which means that this is a common or conventional hip, that it's 612 slope on both sides. Since it was 612 here, it has to be 612 here. So now we can go ahead and do all of our work. Step 1, of course, is to find common rafter. To do that, we're going to look at it like this. 28 feet, 612 slope. Run is 14 feet, which means the rise is going to be 7. Everybody know where the 7 came from? 6 over 12 equals h over 14. And then, of course, our common rafter length here is going to be the square root of 14 squared plus 7 squared. $15.652. And again, we're going to eventually convert that to feet, inches, and sixteenths for our answer, but we're going to leave it as decimal feet for calculating for now. So this is 15.652, which means this would also be 15.652 feet. Next, we want to find the next longest jack. We know that this distance here would be 12 feet if we're 2 foot on center. And we have our triangles. We have this one, which is the big triangle. This is 15.652, and this is 14. Then we have the smaller triangle, so this is 12, and we will call that x. So our proportion, 14 goes to 12, as 15.652 goes to x. 13.41 what? 416. Okay. So that means our decrease, 15.652 minus 13.416, is 2.236 feet. And of course, that needs to be converted to feet, inches, and sixteenths. So 2.236. Subtract 2. 2 feet, you said 2 inches? Okay, so we got the 2 inches, subtract the 2, times 16. Yep, 13 sixteenths. 2 foot, 2 and 13 sixteenths. Good job. How many of you had that one right? Cool. Does it make more sense now? Number 2. Pretend that's centered. We have a span of 30 feet, a slope of our common of 812, and we have a setback of 8 feet. What's the setback of 8 feet tell us? It's not half of the run. 15 feet is half of the run, so that means this is not a conventional hip. The slope on the hip end is different than the slope of the common. So we're still going to start out with the common, 30 feet. 812 slope. This is 15 feet. This is our height. 8 over 12 equals h over 15 gives us that h is what? 10 feet. So giving this is the square root of 15 squared plus 10 squared. Square root of 325 is 18.028. Look good so far? Okay, so that is this length right here. Now we could go ahead and find the decrease on the main roof side right now if we wanted to. Put in this next jack, which will be at 6 feet, 2 feet less than the 8. And we'll have 8 feet and 18.028. And we'll have 6 feet and X, giving us the proportion 8 goes to 6 as 18.028 goes to X. Cross multiplying and dividing will give us 13.5 what? 52. Do you only go 2 decimal places on that one? 521, there we go. That'll be better. So we subtract there, we get 7054. So 4.507, look right? 52025. It don't matter. We're off by 1,000. That's okay. So anyway, 4.502 or 4.501 or 4.507 or 4.508. Either one of those will be fine there. That is 4 feet. 0.507 times 12 is going to be 6 inches. Subtract 6 times 16, and I don't think we're going to get a full 16th. Oh yeah, we are going to get a 16th out of it. 1/16. 461 is what we get out of it. Now we need to look at the hip roof side over here. Need to find that one. We actually have all the information we need for that right now. This is 8 feet on the bottom of here, because the setback's 8 feet. The height of it's going to be the same as this height, which is 10 feet. So to find this length of the longest jack is going to be the square root of 8 squared plus 10 squared. So that'll be the square root of 164. 12.806. So that being 12.806 right there. Our next jack will be here at 13 feet. So we have this one here, 15 feet, 12.806. This one here, 13 feet. I'm going to call this Y. So we've got 15 goes to 13 as 12.806 goes to Y. Cross multiplying and dividing gives us that Y is what? 11.099. Subtracting gives us a difference of 1.607, correct? 1.707, isn't it? 707. So that is 1 foot. Take the 0.707 times 12 gives us 8 inches. Subtract the 8 times 16. Come on. 7.7 is 8/16, so 1/2. 1 foot 8.5. Okay. Number 3. Going into the valleys now.
Oh, when you do that one?
Yep. Yeah, the 10 was the height from the common. It has to be the same here. It has to be the same height as it does anywhere else in the roof.
Where?
Here, at this point here, going this way,
Yeah.
goes up to the same height.
So we got,
This 8 is the setback right here. Is that distance? This slope here, that's that longest hip jack right here.
oh,
Yep. Here, let me grab the model for you. That would be, yeah. Yeah, this here is the height, of course. The 8 feet is this piece here, the setback. So what we found there, the 12.806 is the sloped, the jack rafter. Number 3.
hard to see it.
I know, in 2 dimensions it's hard. Bless you. Okay, here I didn't give you a lot of information, but you see that the spans are the same. And I tell you the slope of both is 512. So this is a conventional hip. Both or conventional valley, both slopes are the same. So we're going to start out with the common. 24-foot span. And you've got a 12-foot run on a 512 slope, which means h is 5. A squared plus b squared equals c squared gives us 13 feet for the common rafter length. So 13 feet right here. Or right here, doesn't matter, it's the same both ways. Since the peaks match, I made the peaks match on both of these just because it makes it so much easier when the peaks do match. So now, this is how far here? Where did 12 come from? Half the 24, good. So that triangle is 13 by 12. My next triangle is going to be here. This will be 10 and x. So we have a proportion, 12 goes to 10, as 13 goes to x. So we get 130 divided by 12, which is going to give us 10.833, correct? So 13 minus 10.833 is 2.167. 2 feet, 2 inches exactly. Questions? 1.6. This minus this. In number 4, we still match the peaks, only the spans are different, which means we have to be dealing with different slopes. So we have a 36-foot span here, 18-foot span here. Now the ratio of the spans actually is equal to the ratio of the slopes. So you know that this is a 412 slope here. You actually can guess that that's going to be an 812 slope over on the L there. But it's not a big deal. We can deal with it. We're going to start out with the common rafter again. Common rafter, 36 feet. Looking for H. 412 slope, 18 feet a run, H ends up being 6 feet. And again, I'm assuming you guys can do the 4 over 12 equals H over 18 to get the 6 feet. This is then the square root of 18 squared plus 6 squared, otherwise known as the square root of 350. 18.708 sound right? Is that what you guys got? That's right here, 18.708. Now we can find the decrease here already. We have this distance here, of course, is half of the 18, or 9 feet. So we have 9 feet, 18.708. This next one here, this will be 7 feet, and this will be x. So 9 goes to 7 as 18.708 goes to x. Cross multiplying and divide gives us 14 point what? Yeah, let me try this. The 18, let me try that. Let me redo it. I may have punched something in wrong. Ah, that's what you got, 974. Huh. That's what I get for trying to do things in my head, huh? So 18.974. Thank you, sir. So what do we get? 14 point what? 7. You gotta learn to go 3 decimal places, man. 757. So 757. That's better. Gotcha. So what do we get here? 7, 1, 2, 4.217. So that'd be 4 feet. 0.217 times 12 gives us. Let's try that again. 0.217. times 12. 2 inches minus the 2, 5/8 you say? Sounds about right. 10/16. 9.6 is 10/16 or 5/8. You got it.
I always got those incorrect, but I must have got
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the hip, or the L side here. Looking at this one, I'm just going to look at a triangle there. Because I know that the height is still 6 feet from up here. I know that the run of that is half of the 18, or 9 feet. So I can find the length of the common on the L. That's simply the square root of 9 squared plus 6 squared. Yep, because they match the peak, so they got to be the same height. 10.817 I get here. So then, of course, that's 10.817 at, this will be 18 feet. This next one will be at 16 feet. So it's going to look like this. 10.817 at 18. Then we've got y at 16, giving us the proportion. 18 goes to 16 as 10.817 goes to y. Cross multiply and divide. So times 16 divided by 18. 9.615. So we got a difference there of 1.202 feet. So that is 1 foot. 2.424 inches. So 2 minus the 2 times 16 gives us 6.7 or 7/16. So 1, 2, and 7/16. What do you think? Yeah, we're getting there. Oh no, we're not done yet. You guys got 25 minutes left. Think I'm going to give up that type of useful time? So for numbers 5 through 7, we have a ceiling height of 7'8", and we got a 13-inch floor thickness. Sum to the 7 times 12 is 84, plus 8 is a 92-inch ceiling height. Plus the 13-inch floor thickness, we have 105 inches of total rise that we have to cover in this stairway. If we approximate that with a 7-inch riser, this actually comes out to be exactly 15 rises, which would be, that's number 5. Got to work up to number 7. Nope. So there's going to be 15 risers at a 7. And that means your riser height is exactly 7 inches. We don't even have to go back and fudge the riser height to make it work. If we have 15 risers, how many runs, how many treads do we have? 14 treads. That would be number 6. Now I had to give you, it's not on the quiz, but I had to give you an 11-inch tread. Without that information, it becomes very difficult to do. But we want a minimum 6'8" head clearance. Well, 6'8", 6 times 12 is 72, plus 8 is 80 inches of head clearance. Plus, we still got to add in the 13 inches of floor thickness. We need 93 inches of drop to get to our head clearance. Each drop is how many inches? 7. We got a 7-inch riser. So 93 divided by 7 is 13 point what? 2857143. We'll round it off as. So that means we have to round up to using 14 rises. If we use 14 rises, it will take 13 runs. Each run is 11 inches times 13 runs is 143 inches. You could either leave it as 143 inches or you could leave it as 11 feet, 11 inches. A lot of people just had 11 feet flat for some reason.
I don't understand why they make stairs that are only so wide when you got furniture that's never that narrow.
Yeah, no kidding.
I always do a staircase for me. You know, the minimum staircase is 36 inches. 3'6" from center stud to center stud, which means your finished staircase is 36. And then if you want a hand railing in it,
Well, that's what I was saying, like, you can't get those big fluffy couches that they got nowadays.
Yep.
my
How do you
minimum,
get them upstairs?
when I do my rough framing, my minimum staircase is always 4 feet outside to outside. Because then you're going to lose 7 inches, 3.5 inches on each side, you're down to 41.5 inches sheetrock, you're down to 40 inches. And then if you want a hand railing, which will take up 3 or 4 inches, you still got 36 inches of clearance. When I do decks, a lot of my decks have stairways that are almost a full 48 inches wide, a clear space wide,
So when
especially if they're more than 3 or 4 steps up.
you're talking before, it takes 2 steps and you have to have a railing.
Yeah, if you have more than, well, the railing I think is defined if it's more than a 24-inch total rise or something like that.
That's from like the ground to the.
Yeah, or if you're going from one platform to the next or whatever. I believe it's 24 inches, you need a railing. Like if you have a deck and it's less than 24 inches from the deck to the ground, you don't have to have a railing around the deck.
You're technically supposed to have a hand railing inside your house if you have stairs.
If you have more than 2 steps, yeah. If you have more than 24 inches rise. What's that?
There's no hand railing in my house, there's not even a thing to keep you from falling off the ledge.
You just got to open it, hole in the middle of the floor where the stairway is.
I think when they built the house, everyone was old enough to not fall off the ledge. So
Yeah.
thing on.
Then you put a banister on it.
But it's a good 6-foot drop and you just walk right off the
You don't come home messed up at your house, huh?
danger. Stairs are gonna finish they rock and shit.
Oh yeah,
You hit them wrong, if you're just trying to skip a step, the stair will lift up on you. Just
Sure.
slide your ass right down.
oh man.